On our website we have an overview video of how to use KederTape, but in this video we're going to give you some details and tips and tricks. If Keder is being sewn onto an SEG sign, normally the sign is just tucked in with a single fold into the frame. However, with KederTape we've developed an alternative technique of doing a complete rollover and tucking it in. The reason for that is that it has several benefits. For one, it protects the frame from any adhesive. Secondly, you can make the frame as tight as you want. The fold over technique is ideal for most textiles, and it's very easy to accomplish and to make it nice and tight. However, for some textiles, we recommend the single fold method. For instance, with canvas, peel the KederTape liner, apply the tape to the canvas, press it down, and simply insert it into the frame with the single fold method. We think you'll agree that a painted frame, it really looks great with a print like this, and that's one of the benefits of using seg design. However, here's a tip. If you get paint on the inside of the frame, the KederTape over time can start to dissolve the paint, and then it'll be sticky and difficult to get the print in and out. What you might consider is when you're painting the frame, using a sacrificial piece of KederTape that you can use over and over again just to keep paint out of the slot. As I'm sure you realize, it's imperative to get the KederTape positioned in the right place so that your SEG face is nice and tight. One of the easiest ways to do this is to simply print cut lines in exactly where the KederTape needs to go and overlay that on your print, as you can see is done here. An easy way to get that is that you can download those from our website in standard sizes, or if you're doing a non-standard size, we'll create a cut line template that will fit your sign exactly, or we can also supply you with the specs for how to create these yourself for any size sign. To create your own cut template, locate the lines 1 inch outside the live area all around.
The corner cutouts are 1 1/8 inch radius.
These dimensions are just a starting point. You may need to adjust them for your particular fabric and the size of sign and how tight you want the face. Another important factor of getting a perfect fit on your SEG sign is the amount of stretch that the fabric has. For instance, here are two fabrics with the identical print, but they've got very different stretch percentages. The first is more stretchy and the second not as much. With a more stretchy fabric, the KederTape is going to need to be placed more inward so that you can pull that stretch out when you mount it. Whereas with a less stretchy fabric, the KederTape is going to be placed right on the cut lines that you've drawn. Over time, you'll get very good at determining for a certain fabric where the cut lines need to be. Another factor that impacts the amount of stretch you need to account for is how large the sign is. The larger the sign, the more stretch you're going to get over that distance, the more inward you'll need to place the KederTape. However, as mentioned, the starting point is to print overlay cut lines on your print. Another important factor is to get the KederTape cut to the right size. And basically your dimension is going to be about 1/4 of an inch shorter than the dimension of the sign that you're doing. So you can see there's just fits in there with a little bit of extra space. If anything, cut the KederTape a little bit long rather than short, because if it is too long, it's always easy to trim a little off. You can do that even after it's applied to the fabric. One of the benefits of KederTape as opposed to a sewn Keder is that to some extent the tape is repositionable. So if you don't have the tape on just right, especially when you're trimming the corners, you can peel it back and move it a little bit. Remember, moving it inward makes the face tighter, and moving it outward makes it looser. Some fabrics used for SEG are woven. The problem with woven fabrics is when they're cut, they can fray. This isn't a problem with knitted fabrics. An easy solution to this is to use a hot knife when working with wovens. They cut cleanly and singe the edge. The best way to cut textiles is using a self-healing mat and a rotary cutter. However, make sure that the cutter is new and sharp, because if not, it won't cut cleanly. Save yourself the trouble and use a sharp knife all the time and a good quality mat. Sometimes it's hard to peel the liner of the KederTape off from the end because it sticks quite a bit. An easy way to do that is just use your nail or a file to start it from the side, and then you can peel it back.
KederTape is currently available in 3 sizes: 14 by 3 mm, 12 by 3 mm, and 12.7 by 1.5 mm. All of these come on 80-foot spools.
If you have questions, feel free to contact us through our website, bannerups.com. To become a seg design expert, be sure to watch all the videos in this series.